So there used to be a car here, and as you can see, it's not here anymore. Let's take a walk, shall we? No, it's not that one. That's my wife's car. Down here, in the pile of dead vehicles. No, it's not that one. To be continued with that one. What we have here, 2005 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4. And our symptom today is intermittent not starting. Just click when you turn the key. This is the 3.7 liter V6, and it is 4x4. So we're going to be changing the starter, which you probably won't be able to see it, but it's way down there, down underneath the steering and all that. It's down in there. So what I was told was that you have to remove, in order to replace the starter, is this drive shaft under here. Well, we're not going to be doing that. I don't have the tools to do this, and honestly the reason I'm doing this is I really don't have the funds to take this car in and have it fixed. So what we are going to do is we are going to attempt to replace the starter without removing this drive shaft. And we will begin by making sure that we have the car properly lifted so I can get under it. Please get ramps if you're going to do this, because even though this is a 4x4, there's not a lot of room under here, and you would have a very difficult time getting underneath this vehicle. So, item number one, we need to remove this skid plate. These are 13s, I believe, and there are 4 of them, and we're going to remove the skid plate and take it off the vehicle. And we'll be back after we are done removing this. So with the skid plate removed, and you only have to actually take off these back 2 bolts all the way off, which are these 2 right here. The 2 front ones, actually you just need to loosen them. This whole thing will just slide back and come right off. So underneath, we now have access to right through here. You can see this should unbolt from the back. There are 2 bolts on the back. They are 15s. The 2 15s are both the same size, so it doesn't matter. You won't mix them up. So the next thing we need to do is disconnect the battery, and we need to, there's one electrical connection that's a screw-on type, and then there's one that's a clip-on type. We have to remove those, unbolt the starter, and it should come right through this hole. So you may struggle a little bit, as I did, but as you can see, this is the old starter removed from the engine. So these 2 bolts here that were holding this in, these were very, very tight, and I ended up having to use several extensions and a breaker bar to get them loose. But once I got them loose, this came right out. All you literally need to do is fish this up, turn it this way, point it down, and pull it out through the hole that I showed you earlier, and this thing will just pop right out of there. And here's my used replacement starter that I'm going to be installing. All right, new starter is in, or new used starter is in. Hopefully this is a good starter. Let's give it a try. Aha! Successful repair, 2005 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Here's the old no no good starter removed from the vehicle. Hope you enjoyed watching this. This did turn out to be a little bit more difficult than I thought it would. The shop always tells you you have to remove the drive shaft. I did not have to remove the drive shaft to do this, but it did make the repair a little bit more difficult getting the bolts loose to get the starter out. But once I did that, this job literally takes like 15 minutes if you have the proper tools to get it off. I did have to borrow a couple of 1/2-inch extensions to get enough torque to get the bolts off, but other than that, it was a fairly simple repair. You do not, if you have a 4x4, have to take the drive shaft off to do this. All right, guys, thanks for watching.